May I request Mr. Dipen to say a few words about the book?
For yet another book, extremely well written, very different from his book last time. This one, for those of you who haven't read it, probably could be categorized as a burlesque on the IT industry, written in a true Horatian satiric style, so makes for very engaging reading. And ever since I have read the book, I have started thinking of myself as the Red Indian chief, which he described in the book. And I'm sure all of us who have been in the IT industry for a while, and I'm sure there will be quite a few of us here today, must be trying to go through the book and relating themselves to one of the Red Indians or one of the guys from the team of Columbus. And I think the important message for me reading the book is that we tend to take life very seriously. And I think the message for me from the book is that however serious or intense your life or your work can be, there is always a humorous, there's always a funny side to it. And if you can recognize that funny and humorous side, I think there is so much more to get out of life. So a great piece of writing, simple English, doesn't take too long to finish, and just right for my reading habits. So thank you very much, Dipen. Congratulations once again, and look forward to many more such books in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. My name is Dipen Ambalia.
I'm from Mumbai.
I'm from Mumbai. Currently I'm working in Hexab Technologies. Hello. I would prefer this. That's it. Okay, currently I'm working in Hexab Technologies in Mumbai. Now, before I start talking about the book Loser, I want to thank a few people without whom this event wouldn't have been possible. First of all, I want to thank Sandeep sir for agreeing to be the chief guest for this event. Thank you, sir. Secondly, I want to thank Mr. Gaurav Sabharwal, the head of Fingerprint Press, who is the publisher of Loser. He's not really here today because of ill. Thirdly, I want to thank Mr. Abhijit for giving me this chance to have a book launch over here. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, I want to thank you all for being a part of the very first launch of Loser. So thank you all so much. By education, I'm an electrical engineer. By profession, I'm a software developer turned software tester turned production support specialist turned business analyst turned turned sales consultant. So basically, I've been in this industry since last 7.5 years, and I've been in their shoes. It's a fiction about 17 very ordinary characters that we see around us, but then we never care to observe their life. So in that book, there are characters like 7-year-old daughter of a drummer, then 24-year-old mentally challenged girl, then a sadhu baba, a tantric, a 77-year-old man thrown out of his own house, etc., etc. So for that book, I did get very good feedback from people like Dr. Kiran Bedi. I got a forward from her. Then from authors like Sudhindra Mukhasi, and from newspapers like Dainik Jagran, then Divya Bhaskar, Maharashtra Times, Lok Satta, Amar Ujala, etc., etc. So that was my first book. My second book is this, Loser. Loser basically stands for Life of a Software Engineer. It's a satire on the IT world. Loser is not a story. It does not have any character in the book. Loser is a narrative. It's about my experiences in the last 7.5 years. I've exaggerated that a little bit and tried to put that in a humorous way. Every industry has its own pros and cons. Similarly, the IT industry has its own pros and cons. If you see IT industry, there can be two sets of people. The first set of people get good on-site opportunities. They go to US, Australia, America, Germany, you name it. They earn thousands and hundreds of dollars, drive the BMWs and Mercedes of the world, click photos at the Grand Canyons and Niagara Falls of the world. But there is another set of software engineers who never get on-site. They slog their backside of 10 to 12 hours every day, travel to and from office 5 hours a day. They don't get good increments. They pay out EMI of 20,000 per month for the next 20 years, and life sucks. I sadly represent the second part. So I've tried to highlight the plight of the second set of software engineers, but in a humorous way. Actually, I'm a big fan of Mr. Scott Adams. Scott Adams is the creator of the very famous character called as Dilbert. You all must have read Dilbert comics today sometime. He has also written 2-3 books, namely The Dilbert Principle, then Joy at Work, and one more, which I'm not able to recollect right now. Those are awesome satires on the marketing and the management world. So after reading these books, I thought, since I have been in the industry for so long, and I've been through all the phases of the SDLC, I would be in a good position to weigh the pros and cons of the IT industry. And that's how I thought of this book or concept, this Life of a Software Engineer. So what I'll do is I'll read out a few, the names of the chapters that you'll find in this book, and I'll give one-liner information of a few chapters in this book. In all, there are 22 chapters in this book. The very first chapter is called as Origin of the Software World. So in this chapter, I've shown how Columbus is the father of the software world. Many readers have asked me whether it is genuinely true, but then no, it's not true, it is just a figment of imagination. Then second chapter is called as 12 Commandments to Fool Your Bosses. This is the most important chapter in this book. Then there's a chapter called as Presentations. That is how the presentations, that is the normal everyday client presentations or in the group that we give, how the concept of presentations originated, that I've given. And there are some 30 things that you can do in others' presentations when you get bored. So that is one thing. Then there is a chapter called as What We Do in Office. In requirement gathering, we use a document called as use case. Use case is basically a detailed document which has various categories in which the information needs to be filled. Like you have the pre-conditions, post-conditions, goal, basic flow, etc. etc. So whatever we do in everyday life, that's from 9 to 5 in office, that I've put in that particular format, in the use case format. Then there's a chapter called as Software Development Lifecycle Explained. In this chapter I've shown how arranged marriages in India are similar to the SDLC life cycle and the SDLC cycle. And sixth chapter is called as Different Roles in the Software World. about the project managers, then team leads, etc., etc. So there I have taken a small comparison of the construction business and the software world. So at the bottom of the pyramid, in the construction business you have the Mathadi Kamgars, and in the IT world we have the software engineers. Then you have senior Mathadi Kamgars and the team leads. Then Mukadam, here you have project lead, and then you have supervisor, project manager, etc., etc. So that's how there's a similarity between the construction business and the IT world. Then there's a chapter called as driver, attached, detached, or resident. Basically, you can categorize any software engineer on the basis of the kind of enthu that software engineer shows at workplace. So that's about it. And the 8th chapter is called as the first day in software world. Then you have the Richa and the Ramesh of the IT world. A Richa is basically a kind of a pampered princess from the grandma stories. They want the best of all worlds. They want good on-site opportunities, good increments, husbands living on-site or having at least H1 visa. They don't want to travel in Mumbai trains, and that's it. But the Rameshes of the IT world are like the immigrants on a foreign land. They work hard and get peanuts in return. They help the Guri Mem, hoping that they'll be thanked someday, but then that never happens. All they ask for is just a smile or an occasional compliment for all the help that they give. Then there is basically a table of comparison that I've given. So there are various parameters like there's one parameter called as favorite actor or actress. So a Richa type of a girl in the IT world would have Robert Pattinson or Natalie Portman as the favorite actor or actress, whereas a Ramesh of a software engineer, Ramesh in the IT world, would have Kamal R. Khan and Gracie Singh from Deshdrohi as their favorite actor. Now the places that they like to party would be, for Richa it would be Mambo's in Goa or maybe Blue Frog in Mumbai. But for Ramesh it would be Sheetal Bar near Dahisar Cheknaka in Mumbai. And then there is a chapter called as the Divar, where Divar between those who have been on site and those who have never been on site. And since I have never been on site, I have taken all my frustration in this chapter. So the highest exaggeration you will find is in this chapter only. So if you visit any IT company's canteen, you will be easily able to find out who are the people who have been on site and who have never been on site. So I have shown a conversation amongst 5 characters called as Richa, Rita, which basically represent the on-site girls, and then the offshore people, Vaishali, Ramesh, Vimesh. These are the offshore kind of people. So I have tried to show the contrast of behavior and thoughts with their conversation on the table. Then there is a comparison table about the differences between those who have been on site and those who have not been. Like for example, the number of comments or likes on the Facebook photos or statuses. If you have been on site, then there would be 30 comments and 68 likes. But if you have never been on site, then there will be 2 comments and 7 likes and 1 including yours. And as far as the roads or places that you talk about, if you have been on site, you would talk about Manhattan Square, Trafalgar Square, Madame Tussauds, etc. But if you have never been on site, then you would talk about Sakinaka, Marol Naga, Dindoshi Agar, Milan Subway. You might know that. So, and the serials that you watch. If you are on site, your favorite serials would be Prison Break or 24 or Full House or How I Met Your Mother. But if you have never been on site, then your favorite serials would be Kusum, CID, Raja or Rancho, Nasib Apna Apna, Kusum again, repeat telecast, etc. So this is one of the most favorite chapters of mine and of the readers also. Then there's a chapter called as Just Do It, Marriage, Relationships and all that jazz. So basically that categorization of Richa, non-Richa, Ramesh and non-Ramesh. What are parameters they look out for while marriage. So that chapter is about it. Then you have a chapter called as On-Site Experience. Even though I've never been on-site, I've talked to a lot of friends, and got to know about their actual experiences, and I've tried to mold that in this particular chapter. Then there's a chapter called as Google and God. Every software engineer is a god. Google-oriented developer. In that sense. Then there's a chapter called as Universal Rules of the Software World. Then there's a chapter Recession of the IT world, Recession of the Software world. So here I have taken a comparison between recession faced by maid servants and the recession faced by software engineers. Then there's a chapter called as outsourcing. So what all happens when you outsource a project to offshore. Then there's a chapter called as myths and truths of the software world. So this chapter will definitely bust all the myths and truths of the software world. And then being on bench, what all things you can do. There's a lot of freedom, and there's a comparison between the kind of life that you live on bench and vis-a-vis if you are on a project. So that difference I've shown in this chapter. Then one of the most favorite chapters that you would like is appraisals. This chapter tells you about how appraisals happen in an IT company. And then the resignation mails. If you don't get good appraisals, the next step is resignation mails. So there's a next chapter. And the very last chapter is called as Last Day at Work. So yeah, so basically all in all, there's a last chapter called as IT jargon buster. So what it means in the IT world, and what it actually means. Like for example, if a company says, if an HR guy in an induction program says we are a CMMI level 5 company, then it actually means that we are a very process driven company. You will need to get even the smallest request justified, approved by email by a project manager, and then by a system engineer who will take care of it. Thank your stars if we are not asking you to take permission to pee. So yeah, that is it. These are the 22 chapters that you'll find in the book Life of Software Engineer. So all in all, this book should make you laugh, and I hope a smile lingers on for a long time on the face of the reading this book. So the floor is open for questions.
To give an idea of a book, okay, I really didn't read the book yet. But yes, it has got a good response the day we have started publicizing it from our outlets. But while listening to him, he was telling about the thing, it is not only about IT. You know, all the people who we are working in the corporate world, we are having some sort of same stages in our career, okay, where we are better. We can be the best, but the opportunity is less. That much only I have understood. But I would like to thank him really. You have got a good chapter in the notice which is there in everybody's subconscious mind. It has got into the letter. Now, let me read this book. I'll read this book. Surely I'll read this book. And I hope that we'll get your next book very soon. Okay? And that's all. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for making this event successful. We are here, newly opened our showroom. Please do visit again all the time, and please leave your messages, any comments, any suggestions. We are open for everything. Please do help us to take this book, including our business, to take up the level. Thank you.